What up, everybody? Welcome back to Swag Button Television. I'm your host, DJ Swag. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for checking out the channel. As you know, I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I believe I can do it, but I'm gonna need some help. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you could take some time out of your day and hit that little red button down below. It says subscribe. Hit that. Hit the notification. Punch that bell if you want to, so you can know when there's a new video popping up. Hit the like button so I know that you like the content that you're seeing. And as always, leave a comment in the comment section below. I may get to it and I may not, depending on. And please don't make stupid. Leave a comment saying you're single. I don't really care about that. What I want to know is if you like the content or not. That's it. And as you can see, I'm ripping my Bucks hat because I am a big time major fan of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and we made history yesterday by being the first team in NFL history to play a Super Bowl in their home stadium. Go figure, right? Who knew it took Tom Brady, a quarterback that I I wasn't a big fan of, to come in and take us all the way. He struggled during the season, in the beginning of the season, then he started picking up. But I will hold that my real analysis for another day. Today, as you know, it's Action Monday. And today we're doing a little something slightly different on Action Monday. Today our film is The Magnificent Seven. The remake, but I used to call it The Magnificent Seven. The one with Denzel Washington, Chris Pratt, Matt Bomer, so many other great actors. Right now, my mind just blinked on the other ones. So if you've seen it, just sit back and let me give you my analysis. If you haven't seen it, I'm sorry to say there will be some spoilers. So if you want to go watch it and then come back to this video, that's completely fine. Just be aware there's spoilers in this video if you haven't seen it. So, The Magnificent Seven. You know, when I first heard they were doing a remake of it, I'm like, really? Are you kidding me right now? Why are they taking such a great film that Yul Brynner made back in the 60s and remaking it? Then I watched it. When I watched it the first time, I'm like, wow, how well they stayed true to the original, but still made it modern was incredible. I mean, who knew Denzel Washington could play a good cowboy? I sure didn't. I mean, the only other black man I've seen in a western who did really good was Danny Glover back in Silverado. But Denzel Washington was born to be Chris. Ironically, for some reason they always have Chris as the lead character's name, but in this one they don't mention his last name. They never do. It's just Chris, which I think is awesome. They don't mention his last name, which is fine. I don't need to know his last name to know that he's the lead guy. He's the main person. So, this film is so great. The action, oh my god, the action is so authentic to the westerns. It's not funny. The gunplay, the deaths, people selling the deaths, it was amazing. What I liked about this better than the original is that they had a Native American on the team, and they actually portrayed the character well because they had a real Native American playing the character. And also they had an Asian who was good at throwing knives. But the funny thing is if you really pay attention to the knives that are being thrown, they look like pipes, like PCP pipes made into knives. But it doesn't matter. They the precision he throws those knives into people and land every time in center mass. That's incredible. That's because the actor who does it is a martial artist. He was trained with those type of weapons, so he knew how to use it. And so many times we as people, as moviegoers, we see these films and like, that's not real. That's not real. But that's okay. When that's the beauty of film. It's not supposed to be real. So let's get back to the film on hand. Magnificent Seven did great. The thing that I loved about this film was the fact that they let Chris Pratt be Chris Pratt. What I mean by this, he's goofy, but there's times when he gets serious. He gets serious. And who knew he could shoot a 6-shooter? But he did. He can. And oh my goodness, he is amazing. And the guy, I've not seen the film has done horribly. The guy is a great guy, and him being paired by Denzel Washington works. Because Denzel Washington can get goofy sometimes too, if you actually watch some of the films he's made over the years. But this film in particular, Magnificent Seven, it's so good. I also love the fact that in the opening sequence of the film, and if you have it on DVD, if you listen to the main screen song, it's the original theme song from the Magnificent Seven, just sped up a little bit, but it's still the same theme song, and that's what I love about this film. Is that's what they stayed true to it. Now there were some things I didn't quite understand or didn't like about this film, but I'll get to that in a minute. Let me continue on with what I liked about the film. What I loved about the film. I love that the people, the group, the crew that Chris forms, they don't gel right away. You know, that's something that the first film didn't show. Didn't show them trying to become a team. Because you have Chris Pratt and the other two-gun shooter competing with each other, trying to be the second-hand man, trying to be the right-hand man to Denzel Washington. And I thought that was a cool dynamic. And when you see them actually get into a gunfight, they stand back to back, and they're basically doing that whole, pa 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 pa, and it's like they're in sync at that point. But once it's over with, they go back to competing and comparing who shot the most, who did the most, and that to me that was made this film so much better than the original. But at the same time, you can't really outdo Steve McQueen and Yul Brynner. I mean, but this film still holds its own. And there's sometimes where it's Magnificent Seven, but it's not the Magnificent Seven. It's like because then you got the girl who comes to ask them to pay them on the town's behalf, and now she can shoot too, but she's better with the long rifle than with the pistol, but she can shoot. So technically, she could have been a part of the Seven. And that's what makes this so amazing, so great. Now, the few things I didn't like about the film is in the opening sequence, you see the bad guy. Walks into a church and basically takes over the sermon. And basically bullies the town. And proceeds to antagonize one of its members. who happens to be Matt Bomer. If you're not familiar with him, he plays in White Collar and so, some other film and some other TV shows. Also, he plays a Magic Mike. But Matt Bomer, he might have been like someone who used to run with the group. He must have been a gunslinger, but he put his guns up because the way he gets shot like a gunslinger would do. Because he immediately reaches, he gets shot, he gets killed. But the funny thing is, when he gets killed, he doesn't. Only when he gets killed, so many people in the town get shot and killed and murdered, and no one steps up. It's like they're scared. They run scared. And that's one thing I didn't like. I didn't like that you got to meet the bad guy at the beginning of the film. I would have rather meet the bad guy in the middle of the film. You know, I would have established the hero team first, and then show the bad guy. But I guess that's not how they saw it. My second thing I didn't care for is I love Chris Pratt, but the way he was trying to come on to the woman who was hiring them, kind of sketchy. But I think that was probably his character. That probably wasn't him, because I've read up on him. He actually is very respectful towards his female companions and female co-stars. So, I mean, for it being a remake, and I love the original, I couldn't find a lot of things I didn't like about it, because this film was so good. It was well done, well shot. It stayed true to the West. Like, the town itself wasn't modernized. You had your saloon, you had your hotel, you had your general store, you had, the gunsmith, you had these people who were back in the day, back in the Western times. And I love how Ethan Hawke plays this character, and which stays true to every character. Like, if you really pay attention to this film, each character kind of pays a homage to the original 7. Chris is like Chris Yul Brynner. Chris Pratt is like Steve McQueen's character. You have, Ethan Hawke, who's like Robert Vaughn, who has, you can tell he has there's things in his head that are kind of keeping him from being part of the group. And he also has a little bit of the Charles Bronson character, because he teaches them how to shoot a gun, shoot a rifle, but at the same time because he is very, very reserved. Then you have the Mexican guy who was supposed to be this criminal, and to me, he reminds me of I can't think of the actor's name who plays the character, but he has some traits to him. Then you have the wilderness guy. To me, he's more of an original character, because I don't remember anyone like him. Then you have the Asian. I can't pronounce his actor's name to save my life, so I couldn't tell you. But this guy, with him being a knife, he reminds me of Red, James Coburn's character. On how James Coburn his character was more of a knife thrower than a gunfighter. And then you have the Indian, Red. That's his name. His name is Red. I think it's like Red Hawk or something like that. To me, he's like the young guy in the original film. He's almost like every other he's like the fifth, the seventh person who always joins the team. But like they pay homage to not just the original, but the other films and the four films that were made by the for the Magnificent Seven. You know, they pay homage very well, and it's very, very intriguing how well it did for being a western, because everyone knows westerns aren't as popular as they were back like the mid 2000s, early 2000s, late 90s. So the fact that this film did very well at the box office, but at the same time also has done pretty well with DVD sales, yeah, it tells you it wasn't just the genre; it was about the actors, the story, and everything else like that. So there's a few things they could have done better. Like they could have had a few more gunfights with some of the henchmen, you know, before the final fight, you know. But that's just me. I'm a Western guy. I love westerns, and I always love a western that has more gunfights than you know drama, because to me drama and a western doesn't mix. I like a little bit of drama and a whole lot of gunplay, because that to me that's a western, is the gunplay. How many like who is the quickest draw? Who had which characters are like dual dual wield? Who's better as a long shooter with a rifle, and is the rifle actually a Winchester, or is it like similar to a Winchester? Is it you know who carries a shotgun? Because there's at least one person in a western that carries a double barrel shotgun. Don't ask me why. That just is. And there's also people who like to use dynamite instead of bombs. And to me, dynamite actually explodes and carries a lot. So that's my opinion on what they could have done better. But this film, I give it a 9 out of 10 on the swag scale. That's pretty darn high for me. So, but I want to know what you thought of this film. If you've seen it, leave me a comment below. Let me know what you thought of the film. If you liked it, tell me what you liked. If you don't like it, tell me what you didn't like. I'd love to know where your mindsets are, where your thought processes are when you watch a film. Are you in it for the entertainment value? Are you in it for like the history part of it? Or you just watch it just to watch it because you got nothing better to do? That's funny too. Leave in the comment section below. I want to know. I want to know, when you watch films, what do you do when you watch? Are you strictly watching the film? Or are you analyzing it? Are you picking apart the script? Are you picking apart the movements of the actors? Or are you trying to figure out what the director was thinking when he did a couple of like these weird camera angles? Let me know. And I know I just use some terms that's film and TV. That's because I come from the TV world. I worked on a couple TV shows, and I may do a video about my past. So that may be something in the future. So as I said before, leave a comment and leave me a comment. What do you want to see on this channel? What do you want me to review? I know some people want me to start reviewing music. Let me know. Do you want me to do a song? Do you want me to do a artist? Do you want me to do a genre? Let me know. Also, what other films do you think I should? What other films should I review? I know I'm trying to stick to my schedule, but it's not easy sticking to a schedule when A, you don't have a really good setup, and B, life happens. That's pretty much it. So, until then, remember, 1,000 subscribers. Get your families, get your friends, get your co-workers. Let them know, hey, there's a new guy on YouTube trying to make it. So, if you're part of the swag team, thank you for joining. Remember, you're swagged out for life. And for those of you who were planning on joining the family, please join. There's nothing to worry about. I'm in the process of creating a logo. I haven't created it yet. And I may have some shirts down the line as merchandise.